If you read the title of this video, you know what we're going to be talking about today. It is the fight that happened last night, Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. Jake Paul won the fight by unanimous decision. He won 6 out of the 8 rounds that they did. The first 2, he lost 9-10, and then the last 6 rounds he won 10-9. Here's the official scorecard for the end of the bout. So, like I said, 9-10 the first 2 rounds. The last 6 he won 10-9. Final score he had 78. Tyson had 74. So unanimous decision. Jake Paul won the fight. Now, Twitter was in an uproar last night because everyone, myself included, expected a different outcome. But I'm going to explain why I expected a different outcome. It wasn't just Jake Paul's not a fighter. He's trying to fight Mike. Like, the main deciding factor when people were debating this fight was the age of Mike Tyson compared to his prime. What I expected to happen, Mike Tyson knows how to fight. Jake Paul knows how to fight. I expected Mike Tyson's muscle memory and his killer instinct to take over during the fight and just overpower him to the point to where this fight becomes too easy for him. And he would overpower Jake Paul. One punch would knock him back or stumble and make him debate whether he wants to even push through. And that didn't happen. Around rounds, I would say it was 3 or 4, I can't remember the round exactly, you could tell that Mike Tyson started to gas out, which means he started to get tired. The old age started to hit him a bit. And after the end of whichever round that was, you could hear the commentators say, and you could see it even. I wish I could pull the round up, but I forget which one it is. Mike Tyson took a very deep breath when he was walking back to his corner to sit down and, talk with his coaches and everything. And it was at this point that I knew he wasn't going to win. Because this means that if his stamina is going down, Jake Paul, he's going to be throwing more punches, which means he's going to win the rounds. I didn't expect Jake Paul to knock him out, which of course didn't happen. Not even a knockdown happened. Because I knew Mike Tyson at least had the durability to take the punches and still be standing. But of course that's what happened. I'm pretty sure it was his 3rd round, because at that point Jake Paul literally won every other round. So yeah, at that point, in my opinion, I could tell it was going to be over for Mike Tyson, unless he got a second win and decided to do a punch and get a knockdown. Then fight was there for Jake. Killer Instinct didn't take over. He didn't knock out Jake Paul. My thing is that a lot of people even made the argument of, hey, this fight is rigged, it's scripted. And, if you compare all of the training that Mike Tyson did versus Jake Paul, it's night and day from what we saw in the fight. People's retaliation to that is that, oh, it's completely different when you're actually in the ring versus doing pad work or, training with someone who's just there to be a punching bag. We know that. We know Jake Paul knows that. Mike Tyson knows that. They've been in fights. They know that. We know that because we know they've been in fights. But it's completely different night and day when in the first 2 rounds, Jake Paul is backing up. He's hitting the ropes on the edge of the ring. Mike Tyson's walking him down. Mike Tyson didn't even do anything. He threw 90 punches I'm pretty sure it was the whole fight. That's not even 20 per round. How, and for Jake Paul to take this as a win and boost his ego even more, you fought someone way past out of their prime. pushing 60 years old. He's 58, more than double your age, and you barely escaped with a win. You didn't get the knockout like you said. You didn't get it knocked down. Um, I just I just don't understand why he's fighting senior citizens who are clearly not built for it anymore. Um, I mean, obviously, if you was to see Mike Tyson on the street and try him, he's gonna knock you the fuck out. But that's different than, like rules in a boxing match. That's just a street fight. He's just knocking you the fuck out. I was disappointed from this fight because it didn't even seem like a fight, to be honest. Plus, the fact that Jake in the post interview said that he was going easy. He didn't feel like punching hard on someone who didn't deserve it. If that's the case, what did you fight him for? What did you talk all that shit for before the fight was set? Before fight night and the weigh-ins and the fucking the face-off. What did you say all that for? You're like, he doesn't deserve it, so I'm not really going to try. Like, what? No. You had to train for this. You had to try. There's no reason for you to say that and try and discredit and act like you were using 50% against Mike Tyson just because he's old. No, don't fucking do that to him. You know what? Hold on. And this right here, even this. This is day 2 of him training for Jake Paul months in advance. Also, mind you, he had, what was it, a month ago, he had some injury or something that he had to get checked for, that delayed the fight or something like that. So it's like, Jake, hold on, I'm gonna say it after.
We're getting ready for you. Day 2.
Yes, he's an old person. Yes, he's not actually fighting against Jake Paul here. But that's some scary work compared to this.
Jake Paul's final training footage.
You hear his happy-go-lucky music? Jake, every single fight you go into, you have an advantage against your opponent already. 9 times out of 10, it is because they are a senior citizen. The only 2 fights where you didn't have this happen is when you went against Tyron Woodley. Because Tyron Woodley was still relatively young and relatively close to your age for a fighter. Tyron Woodley, I respect him because he took it serious, and he even said before the first fight he was going to take Jake serious as a fighter, and he felt like that's why people weren't beating him, because they're not actually respecting him. You did beat Tyron Woodley both times, I'll give you that. But Tyron Woodley also does MMA. That's where he came from. He's not a boxer primarily. So I don't even really want to give you that. The other one, where you didn't have a crazy advantage, was against Tommy Fury, which was the only real boxer we could say that was relative to your age, not a senior citizen, who actually had pro boxing experience, who wasn't a athlete in another sport or MMA, and After having the final checklist down of, oh, okay, this is an actual boxing match against an actual professional boxer, against someone who's not a football player or basketball, whatever, you lost that fight. When you had to fight an actual boxer who wasn't playing a different sport or a different type of fighting, like MMA or anything else, who wasn't a senior citizen, you lost that fight. And again, I respect Jake as a boxer because he's clearly gotten better. He's clearly actually training for it. He clearly cares about the sport, at least to an extent, aside from money. And oh, but it doesn't piss me off. It just frustrates me, the display that I seen last night. No one was happy. Whether Jake Paul won or Mike Tyson won, no one was really happy. If Tyson won at the end of that, people would have been like, okay, but like, why is Jake Paul in here punching on an older guy? Why is he doing that? But y'all, that's my review of the fight. That was my thoughts that I had growing up from last night. Let me know what you think in the comments. What you thought about the fight, who you thought was going to win, versus what happened after. How do you think the fight? Do you think the fight was scripted? Do you think it was rigged or staged? Let me know in the comments. I'll be down there.